All right, everyone. Alec Tackmann here, getting through the final part of Triplets in GoAndPractice Book 2. This is the last section of this. This is page 26, quarter note triplets and half note triplets. Okay, this is where it's going to feel a little bit like math homework. These are two rhythms that are played incorrectly quite often, and half note triplets, I think a lot of people have no idea how to play them. So let's hopefully solve some of those issues. So starting off with number one, we're going to have a setup of just eighth note triplets, good old usual triplet, 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 triplet. And the second measure, we're going to accent every other one of them. Okay, so what that's doing is that's setting you up for what the sound should be of an actual quarter note triplet. A quarter note triplet, let's talk about that for a second here. When we're in the triplet realm of counting 3 eighth notes per quarter note, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, the rules still apply of the relationship between an eighth note and a quarter note and a half note and a whole note and all that stuff. What we've done is we've just kind of tilted into this parallel universe of how they're going to be played, where they're going to land. So what that means is when we see the quarter note triplet, it has to be twice the length each note, or half as often as the eighth note triplet. So if you want like a quick, easy way to feel how they should sound is play triplets, triplet, 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 and take away one of your hands. Triplet, 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 triplet. The trick is this sound to a lot of people sounds like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and that's the hard part of this. So when you put it up against a metronome, it's tough to do that. I think one way to get handy at this is actually try to be able to do it without the metronome, but be the metronome for yourself. And know that the first one should line up, the second one is just before the click, and then the last one's just after that same click. So the first part of the triplet's on it, the second just kind of wraps around the second click. Now you don't want to obviously be playing, tapping your foot loudly during that, but if you kind of have that internal clock going, that can help iron that out for you. So number 2 does the same thing, but it strips away the accents. And that's not too tough if you have triplets kind of rolling in your head. Number 3 makes it a little tricky though. We put the quarter note triplets up against straight eighth notes. So you got to again switch your brain on the fly to triplets while you're doing the thing you need to do. So number 3 is triplet, 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 triplet. Without a point of reference, it just sounds like you're slowing down. But that's what makes them cool. Number 4 is the same thing up against quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now number 5. This is the first half note triplet. So if we're still following what we learned before, a half note triplet is going to be kind of like back to our normal eighth note triplet, but accenting every fourth one of those. Triplet, 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 triplet. Take away all those inside notes. Triplet, 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 triplet. This one's going to sound totally whack. It's going to sound like you're playing a completely different set of random quarter notes up against the click. So if I take, let's take number 5. I'm going to kind of give myself a better metronome here. I'll do this. Here's number 5. So the placement of this is going to be the first one, The first one's with the click on the money, it's beat 1. The next one is going to be the second partial of the triplet on beat 2, triplet, triplet. And then the last one is the third partial of the third triplet. So triplet, 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 and then the third one's empty, nothing happens on it. So again, number 5, I'll play it with metronome. Oh, I screwed that up, sorry. Number 5 again. Alright. Number 6, same idea. We're just putting 8th note triplets before it, playing the triplet, 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 accenting every 4th one. That's another good way to get that sound in your head. And then from there to the bottom, we're just kind of throwing different variations at it. Now that we have, like, if we think of the big picture, you've got a basic whole note, half note, quarter note, 8th note. You've got 8th triplet, 16th note, 16th triplet, and then these weird ones, quarter note triplets, half note triplets. You start playing around with all those tables of time, you can really take your rhythms pretty far out when you got a really good grasp on still knowing where beat 1 is. One thing I do want to point out before this video is done is number 8. Number 8 is a common mistake in playing the quarter note triplet, and that's misinterpreting what should be this rhythm for this rhythm. Now without the click, they sound pretty similar, boom, 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 boom. But the key is the 8th triplet, the quarter triplet version should sound even. They're all evenly spaced. The other rhythm, I'll play number 8 for example. This is the second half of number 8. This is the other way to play it. Really that rhythm, boom, 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 is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It's a different thing. Those last 2 notes are closer to each other. When we play the triplet one, they're all even. Triplet, triplet, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So this kind of highlights the 2. Here's number 8 all the way through. Alright, I'll try that again a little cleaner. Alright, I see it pretty often when people are playing a song. It happens a lot in like drumline cadences. They'll see this quarter note triplet rhythm and they'll just insert the boom, 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 that one, and it's like, no, it's not. It's a different thing. So make sure you're doing the correct one, and if you're in an ensemble, make sure everyone knows the difference between the 2 and they're all actually playing the correct one. I've also seen it a lot of times before where a certain number of people have got it right, and then the other ones are defaulting onto the 16th note one because that's a more familiar rhythm, and then you have this weird clash where it's just not tight. So everyone's got to be in agreement on which one they're playing, and if the group can't seem to figure out the quarter note triplet, then fine, just make sure everyone's then just going to play it the other way. So anyway, that's some kind of obscure rhythm stuff, but again, it's good for your timekeeping, just understanding rhythms, subdivisions, all that kind of stuff. It feels a little bit like math homework, but it's really good stuff to have a grip on and actually understand what it is, rather than just guessing this kind of stuff by ear. So anyway, thanks for watching the video and watching me make a couple mistakes there. But yeah, let me know if you got any questions or any feedback on this series. I appreciate you all sticking around and watching me ramble for a while. So I'll see you all in the next video.